Uptown, Lois Lane wakes up from a vivid dream. It's been the same dream for several nights now. The Lois of this world calls to her for help. Superman arrives and swoops his wife into the air. Clark reflects on his day. He still can't figure out how a building just vanished. Luthor and his team arrive to clean up the mess, so Lois advises her husband to, for once, allow someone else to save the day. But that's not everything that is troubling the Man of Steel. There is a man running around calling himself Clark Kent. Everything points to the fact that this man is truly human, a regular guy who grew up raised by the Kents and went on to becoming a reporter. The Man of Steel and his wife returns home, welcomed by their son and his friend. After sending the kids away to play, Lois Lane reflects on her old life. She missed being at the center of the action, the chase for the perfect story. She missed working at the Daily Planet. Lois brings forth a letter she received from her counterpart. The Lois Lane from this Earth shouldn't know of her existence, but somehow, a letter was sent to Lois Lane from Lois Lane. The letter requests for Lois to finish the story if the sender could not do so. There are also a set of numbers and letters. They aren't coordinates. They are something else, something Lois cannot decipher. With Clark's help, Lois figured it out. These digits must be a set of passwords. Backed up by Superman, Lois now knows what she must do. The next morning, at the Daily Planet, she had walked into drug dens, crime lord hideouts, and even supervillain strongholds, but none of them got her unnerved like this. The Planet is welcoming back a prize reporter, but this is the first time she has ever stepped foot through these doors. The Lois Lane of this world has been missing for weeks, so her doppelganger from another Earth took on the responsibility to search for clues as to where she may be. Lois gets a warm welcome from familiar faces such as Jimmy Olsen and Steve Lombard. Even unfamiliar faces stop to say hi. But there isn't any time for pleasantries. Perry White heard that Lois Lane is back. He demands that she march into his office immediately. Perry White and Lex Luthor stands before her. It's been weeks since Perry assigned her the task to honor Superman. Why hasn't he even read one word in it yet? Luthor chimes in. The new boss of the planet gives her a new task. Find out who this new Superman really is. Lois' skin begins to crawl, but she has to remember that this isn't the same Luthor. The Luthor she knows is a lot different. Moments later, Lois finally reaches her counterpart's office. But again, she is not alone. The civilian Clark Kent came through the door unannounced. Clark was worried that Lois went missing for a few weeks. Clark continues to express his concerns, but he accidentally spilled coffee all over the computer. Well, that's it. The computer is fried. Lois cannot try out the password. But wait. In her dream, her counterpart was using a laptop from home. Hours later, Lois arrives at the apartment. It is the same building, same floor, and same suite as the apartment she used to have before she moved in with Clark. As she thinks to herself about a life lived by her counterpart, a voice echoes. I don't know who you are, but you aren't her. If you think you can replace Lois Lane, you will have to go through me. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Comic Island. My name is Joey, and thank you very much for checking out our review of Action Comics issue 965. There are many great things I want to say about this issue, so let's just dive right into it. The issue basically focused on developing Lois Lane Kent, Superman's wife from before the New 52. Writing the script for this issue was a bit of a challenge because I had to go back and forth with two different Loises. If you know what's going on in the current rebirth, then it all makes sense, but if you are joining us for the first time right now, then I can imagine you could be completely lost. So before we go any further, if by chance you are confused, I recommend checking out our Understanding Superman video to get caught up on what's going on and why I'm talking about two different Lois Lanes. Okay, continuing on. The fact that this issue centers on Lois gives us another vantage point from a person that isn't from this world. We saw how Superman deals with living in another world that is familiar yet a little different from his Earth, but we never saw how Lois feels. This issue sheds a lot of light on how Lois is dealing with things, such as how she missed being a part of the Daily Planet and how she knows that she can never return to that life. I especially love that scene when she is compared to her counterpart. We, as fans, can see that these characters in the New 52 are not exactly the same as their pre-New 52 versions, and yet, they are, at their core, the same person. New 52 Lois Lane loves lemon trout, according to Jimmy, but post-crisis Lois hates it. New 52 Lois lives in the exact same place as pre-New 52 Lois. Pre-New 52 Lois even addresses how she feels about being around Lex Luthor, and I love that. Her meeting with everyone from this world was really exciting, but the cherry on top was when she met with a civilian Clark Kent. This Clark Kent is very reminiscent of how Superman acts as his human counterpart, a clumsy fool that drags his feet and slouches and make idiotic mistakes like spilling coffee on laptops. This adds even more intrigue to this civilian Clark Kent, which makes the reveal that much more highly anticipated. And then we got the letter. This issue seems to intertwine with the Superwoman series so closely that it feels like I have to read it to understand the full story. At the time of this video, I had only read issue 1, and because of the cliffhanger ending, I'm gonna discuss a few spoilers surrounding issue 1 of Superwoman, so be warned. In Superwoman issue 1, we found out that New 52 Superman gave a portion of his powers to Lois Lane and Lana Lang. They both got different powers, but at the end, Lois dies in the same manner as New 52 Superman. That is why New 52 Lois went missing, which pushed post-crisis Lois into searching for her counterpart. So, back to the letter. Apparently, New 52 Lois sent post-crisis Lois a letter asking her to finish the book or article if by chance New 52 Lois cannot complete it. So this begs the question, does New 52 Lois truly know about the existence of her counterpart? Or is this a fake letter orchestrated by someone behind the scene? I'm looking at you, Mr. Oz. Finally, let's discuss the cliffhanger ending. Now that we are all caught up, we know that this Superwoman is truly Lana Lang and she isn't happy that someone is replacing her friend. I doubt they will get into a fight because at Lana Lang's current state, she can squish Lois like a bug. But what I want to know is, will Lana discover Lois and Clark's post-crisis secret? The only thing that felt off in this issue is the scene with Lois waking up in the middle of the forest. We established in last issue that Clark built an underground tunnel equipped with a rail system as an emergency escape for his wife and son. So it looks like Lois used the rail system to get to this part of the forest. But why was she passed out under a tree? With such a great issue, something this small is easily overlooked. So that being said, I highly recommend that you check out this issue for yourself. And I'm gonna go ahead and read me some Superwoman comic books. Thank you so much for watching it. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time in another Comic Island video.